Hey, everyone, and welcome back to the Splash City Basketball Podcast. I'm your host, Steve Hartman, and today I'm shifting gears a little bit. I've done a few tactical breakdowns. We've talked a lot about the Timberwolves in the last 6 weeks or so, and with their season ending, I thought we'd dive deep into the world of pickup basketball. And we're talking about unwritten rules, the legendary characters, the people you know when they walk in the gym. That guy can hoop. And maybe some of the surprises and funny stories along the way. To help me break it down, I'm bringing on a couple friends of mine, Nick and Matt. I play with them usually Saturday mornings, but they play multiple days a week as I do when I can find the time. We're going to be talking about everything related to who's calling fouls, what do you play to, twos and threes or ones and twos, and everything in between. So really fun, excited. Been waiting for this conversation for a while. Before we jump into that, though, a couple of quick housekeeping items. I'm thrilled to share that I am a contributing writer at hittingthehardwood.com. I'll be covering Gopher basketball throughout the upcoming season. Put a couple articles a month probably. My first one actually went live this week where we talked about the 26-27 Gopher men's basketball roster, who was added in the transfer portal, who's returning, and who are the incoming freshmen and what might they bring to Nico Medved's squad next season. So excited for that. Really excited for the opportunity. Shouts to Mitchell and the crew over at Hitting the Hardwood for bringing me on board as a contributing writer. And of course, I want to keep you up to speed on everything happening at Splash City Basketball Podcast. Make sure to follow on Instagram, Blue Sky, Facebook. You can find all our episodes on our website at splashcitybasketball.com. Also available wherever you get your podcasts, of course, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and any connected device. So we've got a great episode today. I'm excited to get into it. And with that, let's talk pickup basketball with Nick and Matt. I'm extremely excited. I've been wanting to do this episode for a long time. And Nick and Matt, friends of mine, we play Saturday mornings together here. We're talking pickup basketball. Wolves are done, kind of a lull, I would say, a little bit in the basketball world right now, but not for us three. We're still hooping on the regular, unless you're injured like Matt here. But guys, thanks for joining me, and I appreciate you coming on to talk about pickup hoops.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, if we weren't doing it on camera, we'd be doing it sitting in a bar somewhere. So it's about time we started recording our thoughts, Nick.
Yeah.
So first thing I want to ask you guys, Nick, I'll start with you. When do you first remember playing pickup basketball? What were your what's your story? What's your pickup story like? What's that story arc?
Yeah. So I grew up in upstate New York, about 40 miles outside New York City. And I remember before you could drive, before you got your license, like my nearest friend was, it's a good mile and a half walk away. So I had a basketball hoop in my driveway and I would just shoot all year round, like rain, snow, cold, anything. It was like the only thing I had to do. And so then eventually friends started riding bikes over, so we would play 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, whatever we could do just to stay busy. And so it really started with driveway basketball. I never played. My parents didn't care about sports or play sports, so it was just whatever games I could muster up in the driveway is what I would do. And so it was like you checked it by throwing it against the garage door. That was like
Mhm.
your half court check. And
Yeah.
we used to draw, chalk on the driveway, and we had a rule that you could, like I had a hill that the ball would roll down,
Hmm.
and so that was the rule no matter what, that the last person to touch it had to go run after it and get it.
Yeah.
So that was like early basketball. But once I got my license, I turned 16. That's when I just started picking up friends, and we drive all over the place, just to wherever we could find a hoop. This hoop had a net, that one had a chain net. We'd try it all. We just like, wherever we could go just to get games going, and whoever was there, we would just try and play pickup with. It didn't matter. The joy of the game just like brought us out. That was our hobby. That's how we stayed busy.
Did you ever make it to Rucker Park? I gotta ask.
I have not been to Rucker
Okay.
Park. I've been to the Cage down in West Fourth a couple of
Okay.
times. But no, that's a regret I have. I remember buying VHS tapes of Rucker Park, though, highlights, back in the day, from the back of like Slam magazine. You'd order them to see, whoever taped it.
Do
But
Awesome.
yeah,
guys like us have to show up at like 5 a.m. on a Tuesday to even get on the court at Rucker Park? Like
Oh,
when's the over
oh yeah.
40 past their
Well,
prime games?
I think you can actually get on the court decently, but what they do is they do like when they do their tournaments and when they do their
Oh,
you know,
right.
that's when, yeah, you have to get there just to get a seat. You know, there's famous pictures of like when NBA players show up and someone gives them their jersey just so they can get in the game and play because it doesn't matter who it is. And there's
Mm,
dudes hanging off the fence, and you can see people sitting on like the buildings across the street trying to look in. So there's famous stories of like all these dudes that went there and played, and Kobe's one of the most famous ones that went down there. And now a lot of NBA guys, it doesn't seem like they go and like push themselves or try there, but yeah, that's got a huge legacy, definitely.
yeah, yeah. Matt, how about you? What's your kind of early memories of pickup hoops, and when did you get started?
Well, a lot like Nick, it was a driveway basketball thing. Mine is a Larry Birdish type story. I grew up in a 10-acre hobby farm in northern Anoka County, and your nearest neighbor was 1 mile away. And, maybe they had kids, so there
Hmm.
was a lot of time you had to entertain yourself. And my dad uh, was kind enough to install not just the shooting hoop, the 10-foot official one, but he put a dunk hoop on the other side of the driveway,
Nice.
and you could raise it, and lower it.
Oh yeah.
So my dunk package is a full result of the old 7 foot 7 footer. As far as
Uh,
pickup goes, though, I played organized basketball, all the way through high school at every chance I could get, and every summer league the coaches signed us up for, jamboree. And it wasn't until that all came to a screeching halt after high school, um, and you think like, God, to be honest, I cried when my last high school game, but um, there was like a sense of relief too, like of I don't have to do this anymore. It had been such a, I don't know, the seasons get long and maybe you're ready for something new. So kind of stepped away a little, but never filled the void. Uh, basketball would go in and out for a while with, rec stuff in college and whatnot, but God, I guess the pickup that got me back into it, uh, might be the men's league over at the JCC
mm,
in St. Louis
yeah,
Park. Uh, that was fun.
yeah.
So yeah, um, my the thing I remember most about pickup basketball and just like becoming a part of it was, I was a role player in high school and for many years, and I wasn't needed to shoot, dribble, did a lot of other things, and then you go play pickup basketball, and you don't need like screeners and guys that rotate the ball, you know. Play defense, and you realize quickly, like, oh shit, I need to learn to dribble and shoot real quick. So, in a way, pickup
Yeah.
basketball kind of helped me like get a little fire under my ass to round out my game.
Nice, nice. I
Yeah.
can't believe you didn't always have those handles. I mean, I'm shocked. Your Tim Duncan 18-foot bank shots too, man. Those are polished.
Well, I've noticed the need for fundamentals and your age kind of, like it's on a graph. They
Yeah.
go in a line like that. So
Yeah, yeah. Um,
yeah.
I got a good, story. You guys were talking about, like, growing up. So we had a hoop, we had a park in the back of my house, with full basketball court, concrete, chain nets, um,
Oh, chain
and
nets.
yeah, yeah, and
Love
so,
the
I mean,
chain
I was
one.
always out there, and when I was little, it was like I was out till dark, and then as I got older, I'd stay out, obviously, past dark. People would roll up with their cars, the big subwoofers, and we got music going. It was awesome. But I one year got an itch to paint the backboards. So I bought spray paint, and on one backboard I did an "and one" logo, if you remember "and one."
Yes, of course we do.
And then on the other one I did a Nike swoosh. And I mean, the last time I was in that area to see that, it was still there, probably 5 years ago now, at least. But,
Yeah.
like, I still would go back and be like, "Oh, I remember when we did that. We climbed up there. We sat on the rim," I don't know. I must have grabbed the
Yeah.
net and pulled ourselves up because I certainly couldn't jump that high, and spray painted them. But, yeah, I was kind of the same as you, Matt. I played growing up through high school and then went to college, played intramurals, played in some rec leagues and men's leagues and stuff like that. And then when I moved to the cities, I went to school up at Fargo. And then when I moved to the cities, I was coaching and I didn't play hardly at all when I was coaching. So it wasn't really until like 20, see, my second son was born in 2017. I was playing like men's league or whatever once a week. And then I started working downtown and I played at the Y when they built the new Y at the Gavaday Commons. And I played there for like 4 or 5 years, just probably 3 days a week, every noon run. And then obviously found you guys in your groups. And now there's a group I play with out here. But yeah, it's funny how you kind of go through these arcs of like when you play a lot and then
Yes.
you take these breaks and then you're back into it. And it's like, I don't know. I can't imagine not playing now. Like I'd be so
I
overweight.
I I've never found any kind of exercise like jogging or cycling. The the need for competition
Hmm.
and the team that going against other people is it's hard to replace that when that's what you love and look forward to.
Absolutely. Now, Nick,
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's interesting you guys I did not play in high school. I was one of those never had the confidence to try out for the team and but I was around it. I tried out 1 year in eighth grade, no, freshman year, I think it was. And I didn't make the team, but I think the coach saw that I had like a huge passion and just around it. So I ended up he asked me if I wanted to be the manager. So I was the manager of the basketball team and I got to practice with them every day, and which was super fun. And I would keep the stats and like run the book, and um, so it was super fun to be around. I did that for 2 years, and then I was like the statistician for the high school team, and I ran. I did a couple of local cable access broadcasts where I'd promote my friends the most there on that, but. I was always around the game. I always loved it, but I never played super competitively, and I wonder if that's one of the reasons, like, I've always continued to love it because I just play for fun. I love the art of it. I love being a fan of it. But I think about this sometimes now because my son plays competitively, pretty competitively, like year round, all that stuff, and my instinct was whenever I had 5 minutes, it was like pick up a ball and try and get a game. And I think it's like more of a job when you're on a competitive team like that, and I think it does something to you. So I'm glad you guys found pickup after that because I think sometimes I actually think sometimes that can sap the joy out of it maybe too is but those games, those pickup games, those 2-on-2 and 3-on-3 epic battles I would have with my buddies feel like just the most important thing that happened to me during that time. It was like like you fought to the death in those little pickup
I've
games.
still never beat Ryan Fiskwold one on one to this day. Can't do it.
There you go. Time to challenge.
Yeah, yeah.
He's got gout now, so I like my
Mm,
chances.
you could take
We're
them.
we're aging
I don't
ourselves.
want to win that way. I had my
Yeah,
chance in my prime and it's too late now.
yeah.
You don't want to be who's that would be like joining the was like
The
Gary
over
Payton on the
60 league.
Lakers or something. Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny. It's I think probably part of it is I grew up in a super small town and I got to play and there's guys who probably went to Minnetonka and Wayzata and who are a million times better than me and never played high school basketball, varsity basketball. So
Yeah.
it's somewhat luck of the draw in terms of like I got lucky to play all three sports and I'm not great at any of them, but man, I love that competition. Let's talk a little bit about the games themselves because I have found, and I have played in a few different runs, the different rules that we go through in pickup, and
Mhm.
if you have a preference. Um, the one that I love about our group that plays on Saturdays, but it's also all the days over there is the winner. Like you never play more than two. So everybody kind of gets to play, and that's like maybe an older guy thing, right? Where we're all just there to have fun and get some exercise. But at the Y, I remember it was winter stays, and you could get a run of the court all day, and then you'd be like, "Man, what am I doing here? I'm playing one game and I'm out because the one team was loaded, right?" So like,
Yep.
you guys have any thoughts around winter stays?
Nick, you want to go? You got anything?
I I love the two games and out also. Um, I'm a big fan of having even competition because again, I just want to make sure that we get a good run. You're having fun. I don't think like 13-0 games are super fun to play in on either side of things actually.
Mm-hmm.
So I love the two on and out, especially because now I'm driving 20 minutes each way to go get into this run. So if you're going to go there and then just sit all day, it's rough. I also think it encourages bad behavior when it's not like that, right? Because to your point, it's like stack the team, and who cares if it's a run? Because I'm there to burn a ton of calories as well as get some shots up. So I want to be able
Yeah,
to like make sure that we're getting our runs in. So I personally I like that, but I do think it takes a certain group of dudes to be able to agree upon that.
true.
I I I like the way our Elmer, for those of you that don't know, our the Godfather, the man who brings it all
Yeah.
together to organize these runs. Uh, we played 2 on, 1 off, unless there's only two guys waiting. Then we go winner stays. And to be honest, it's really no different because you're every game you're shooting for three open spots, and
Right.
there's a lot of turnover anyway. And if you can't make a 3-pointer, well, maybe take a break.
Yep.
It's funny. My Thursday run out here in Mound, they go winter stays as well. But the interesting is we don't shoot threes; we shoot free throws. And I would bet you the percentages are very similar to when we shoot threes because
To
nobody,
make the team, you mean
yeah,
for open
because
spots?
yeah,
Yeah.
for open spots because nobody shoots free throws anymore. So like, what's the difference if it's 12 or 15 feet versus 19.9? Whatever.
Yeah.
That's funny. How about scoring? You guys, I know we play again twos and threes on our runs. The Thursday group I play with out here is ones and twos. I don't remember what we played with at the Y. Obviously, ones and twos, then the threes become a little more important. But do you guys have a preference, or are you just used to twos and threes now?
I don't care as long as somebody says something at the beginning of the game. As long as
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
established before we check
So
the ball, we should know what we're playing to and how we're getting there.
yeah.
Other than that,
eh,
I have to
so I,
ask. I can never keep track of scoring games, by the way, so
yeah.
it really doesn't apply to me. I wouldn't remember anyway.
I'm kind of the same. People ask me what the score is in the middle of the game. I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to play until they tell me it's over. And so, um, I always grew up playing twos and ones. And so
Okay.
twos and threes, I had to get used to this. I also had to get used to shooting threes for the open spot. So it took me a year or two to get my 3-pointer dialed in so I could actually stay in games because it was almost like after a game, I'm like, oh man, now I'm going to, it's like a guaranteed I'm sitting because I haven't been practicing my threes. Like, what are we going to do? So now I'm used to it. But I want to say so we were talking about pickup. I used to live in New York City, used to run in gyms all across New York City. And when I go back there, I try to find a run. And there's this one place that does 3-on-3 FIBA rules
Oh,
on Tuesday morning. So if I go into work, I try to fly in and I'll get up early. It's like, 7 a.m. run down in Financial District. And it's like FIBA rules, which I'd never played before. It's super fun, but twos and ones, like the strategy behind the twos, it's like everyone's just jacking twos
right.
because of the added benefit of it. And I
Because
wonder
it
what our
changes
league,
because it changes the math, doesn't it? Like the
yeah, big
value
time,
of the shot.
yeah, it does.
Okay.
It's especially if you have
Ins-
like
Instead
I
of
would consider
the
both of you guys good rebounders. So you know, jack up twos. Who cares if you're missing? Just get the ball up on the glass because one of the big dudes will. If you don't hit it, one of the dudes will get it.
what makes
So
you
it's kind
think
of
I'm not out on the perimeter jacking that
Yeah,
three?
because I
that's
know
where I live.
I gotta
spacing.
run all the way. Yeah, that's right. I gotta space out.
Spacing. So if I'm jacking twos, you're probably underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, Nick, I thought you'd say you prefer the ones and twos because you are more of a 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
And that means
I
that
do.
value is higher, right? For you then.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
the main reason I prefer twos and ones actually is because I just want to keep playing. And so when like 13 games of 13, when we play threes and twos goes too quick for me.
Yeah,
I
that's
I
true.
here's something that I think I understand. I've never really thought about it till now. I don't think I've ever understood why anybody needed to say twos and ones. What? Why? Can't? Is it the math? What's so hard about counting by twos and threes?
Not I'm just saying like a three
No,
pointer is worth twice as much.
no. I get that. I mean, the whole which do you prefer?
Yeah.
Oh,
I prefer twos and threes, I think, because why do we need to switch to ones and twos? Well, we can't count by twos and threes.
yeah,
Like, do they?
When you're
And
young.
if you're playing pickup soccer, do you like, well, it's a half a goal.
Yeah.
right.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a
I'm just
great
trying to be
question. Like,
funny.
I don't know why that would have started other than like, you know, to Nick's point, maybe the games, like if you play to 11 and it's ones and twos, it's going to take a little longer.
Yeah.
Um,
It
and
was
now I'm
obviously
starting to,
created by a 3-point shooter.
yeah,
Some 3-point
right.
shooter figured out that it was more.
It did not exist until the 80s for sure, because nobody even had a
Yeah.
3-point. It's funny because I never really thought about this, but I do get more tired on Thursdays, and I was always like, maybe these guys are just younger, and they are. They're younger. They're a little more athletic. Um, but I'm like, we play ones and twos to 11 versus twos and threes to 13. Like that's a
Yeah.
much longer game, more
Much longer game.
possessions. Yeah, that's now I'm putting it together. I'm not out of shape. I'm just playing different rules. It's tough.
That's right.
I noticed that
That's
on
all it
Sunday
is.
nights, Nick. Do you notice that on Sunday nights? Because they go to 15.
Yeah.
I,
A little longer.
I'm always like
15.
running, like at by point 13, I've spent my reserves. I try to time my energy level at the end of the game. So we'll get to 13 on Sunday night. I'll be like, like, oh shit, gotta go back and play defense. Still
Yeah.
gotta get another bucket. This game could go on.
Yeah.
I you mentioned, Matt, before that you hate exercise that doesn't involve like playing or competitive or something. And I found that with basketball too. Like if I'm on a treadmill, 2 minutes in, I'm convincing myself I have shin splints and I can't do like I just hate it. But you put a ball in front of me and we're playing, I can run all night. And so I've actually found that I'm the second half of games now is when I'm getting better. And then maybe it's because all you guys are getting tired. I
Hey,
don't know. Maybe
that's
I've
100% true.
Ooh, another reason I like, if you're ready to move on, like I'll be kill it. But another reason I like twos and threes is, uh, I like to look for 3-point shots when we have like say 7, right? Because you can get to 10 and then you're within one shot of winning. All right. Or if you're at 10, for the three, I don't think I would, maybe my mental math would be harder with twos and ones.
Well, it
But
is tough
I know like
when
the
you,
numbers. I can, in my head, I can automatically go, hey, we're at 7. Let's start hunting the three on this possession. Or if we're at 10,
Mhm.
like, hey, let's at least look for a 3-pointer. We're all, nobody wants to go back down and play defense.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, that's the math. You get us. That's 3 possessions first. That's 3 buckets versus 4 buckets that you got to get right. Like if you're at 7, so that's makes a ton of sense,
yeah. I think
right?
it's hard
That's
when you
right.
do both, right?
Is that
Because
right?
I
No,
found
it's not.
myself getting screwed up of like, wait, are we twos and threes or ones and like, because
Yeah.
when you do both, that really messes with you a little bit.
Yeah.
Even when you're like getting to that point where you're like, okay, the games where we play to 11, ones and twos, you get to 9 or 8, and you're like, oh, I just need a 3 or whatever. It's like, oh no, no,
Yeah.
no, we're ones and twos. It's just
Well,
it messes with you.
I've found now that when we get to 10, everyone just starts hunting for threes, and that usually lets the other team get back in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Or some of the smart teams now are saying like, "You guard the perimeter, and we'll just get the easy bucket.
Right.
We'll just take the easy bucket. We'll get to 12, and then now I have plenty of options."
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
yeah, there's a little bit of strategy in it
100%.
for sure.
How about win by 2 or straight up?
I grew up as win by 2,
Mm,
but our league is yeah, our league. I guess because dudes are waiting. I don't know. So now our league is
yeah.
just straight up.
You could drag on a little bit. Yeah. We have
Yeah,
a rule on Thursdays that if people are waiting, we go straight up. And if nobody's waiting, we go win by 2.
that makes sense. Do you cap it? Is it like win by 2, 17 or something?
No, I don't think so.
What's the
Just
longest one
What
you've
was
gotten
it?
in?
I don't feel like we've had a lot that are super long because we usually have guys waiting, like there's not,
Yeah.
so like if there's 10, that's just pretty rare when we are right on the money with 10. We usually have more than that. So, I don't honestly remember. Maybe 14, 12, 15, 13 was maybe the longest.
Yeah.
Um, okay, I want to switch to one thing I think is kind of funny because I can't remember them all, but there's been a few times, not so much in our league. Our league is pretty chill, but arguments about calls. Like, uh, I got into one, not a big argument because we're pretty cordial at our age, right? But like somebody was surprised the ball went over the backboard and we called it out of bounds. We're like, well, yeah, that's a standard rule. So are there any things where you guys find like kicked ball or we don't call a lot of carries or travels, but like what do you think are some of the calls that you've seen cause arguments?
Uh, oh, Nick, you go. Oh, I was gonna
No, I
say,
know
I was
Matt's
gonna
got
say that
feelings on this.
Yeah, I know.
I could talk
Hot button.
forever. The
Let's
thing,
go.
the thing, I think the thing that is I think is the funniest about it is, especially where we play, is the pat. And this is a very Minnesota group of guys. The level of passive aggressiveness is infuriating. And what I mean by that is like, you know, anybody can call a foul, right? Offense or defense, it doesn't matter. And the rule is respect the call, and that goes pretty well. I think it works great. But guys will do the thing where they think they get fouled. The defense doesn't say anything. They have full right to call a foul if they want to, but they don't. I don't know whether it's for, pride or I don't call fouls. But then they're going to go to the other side. They like mumble under their breath about it or, or complain that they got fouled and that's why they missed the shot.
Yeah.
So either call it or,
Do,
shut up, I
do you have
guess.
that problem in New York City, Nick? I can't imagine.
Oh my God. Yeah, the arguments over foul calls. And even like when you're in your 40s, people are having like the physics, like it rolled off my hand, like that kind of thing. Like, but the ball went that way. How is that actually possible? And things like that is yeah. There's games end over arguments for sure on foul calls, which
Yeah.
is super, super annoying. I was trying to think. I think I've been playing it in our game for I think it's about 5 years now. I remember I forgot I wish I remembered who it was. I remember one person tried to call a charge
Ooh.
in pickup basketball. And I've been playing for like 25 years, whatever it is, and I'm like, no one can call a foul, but you can't call a charge in pickup basketball. Like what do you guys
Yeah.
think about that one? That feels like the most bogus pickup call, I think, personally.
Yeah. It's not common. If you're that gets into the
First of all,
next
you shouldn't be taking charges.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That gets into the
So
characters of basketball. Like if you get the random guy who's like,
yeah.
I think I'm gonna be Alex Caruso out here taking charges, like, no man, come on, we're not doing this. If you're gonna get hurt. It's that's where I think it ends with us. Maybe it's age too, but I don't remember even at the Y taking charges. Like it's just
You just
people
don't
are gonna
do
get
it,
hurt.
right?
No, yeah, it's not
You,
safe.
You just don't
Yeah.
do it.
what I've started to do as I've gotten older and slower, and I've tried to on offense to utilize the bump. Yeah,
Oh,
I actually I don't call I wouldn't call a charge on somebody else. I've come close to calling them on myself though, because I've tried to utilize, shoulder bumps and creating separation. And a lot of times I'll talk with the guy who's guarding him like, you know, if you think it's a foul, I get it. I'm trying to create separation. I'm not going to call fouls because I created contact. But when you play that way and there's that kind of contact, yeah, I usually at least talk about it.
I think I've received one of those shoulder bumps.
Yeah. So yeah, I call offensive fouls on myself basically because I play too physical because I'm slow and can't jump anymore.
wow. That's very honorable of you, Matt. Um,
Yeah.
going
Yeah,
back, Nick, kind of what you said, or Matt, you talked about passive aggressive and whatever. I will tell you at the downtown Y, there is none of that. There is jawing, there is complaining every call. It's a different world than the runs we get together, us three. But yeah, it's
that's
funny.
why I quit. that's why I quit men's leagues, because
Yeah.
I found myself and everybody else is bitching at these poor refs constantly. They probably were terrible, but they're guys making, $12 an hour
Yeah.
trying to, get through the day. And I'm just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So there's the lack of arguing in our league is because if
Th-
the game's going to stop for 5 minutes while we fight about physics and the ball rolling over the backboard, I don't have time for that.
Right.
So here's what I think is the worst part about men's leagues. Like we go and play in our pickup game, like on a bad night where you're losing and then you got to sit, you're still playing 50 minutes to an hour of basketball, like running 50 minutes to an hour of basketball. On a good night, you're maybe like when you're winning, I don't know, maybe you're where there's not enough guy, you're playing 90 minutes to 2 hours of like running basketball. And in a league, you're probably playing 20 minutes and it just doesn't feel like it's not satisfying.
Hmm.
It's just not
All
satisfying to
chopped
me.
up.
It's
Yeah.
like, yeah,
That's
too chopped
that's
up.
funny because I remember that playing in a men's league after kind of doing the pickup thing, and I was like, oh, that's it. Like I'm not even tired because
Yeah,
I'm used to running an hour and a half or whatever it was, and you're like, this is crazy.
yeah,
So yeah, it's good.
The
yeah,
funny, the, the funniest thing I would say about rules in our league is I have been, I consider myself, pretty well informed. I have learned two rules that my entire life I thought were myths. And I argued, I think the word is vehemently,
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 vehemently.
vehemently.
vehemently against these calls. There's no way that could be right. And it was schooled both times. The first was the ability to catch your own air ball.
Mm.
Well, yeah.
I was like, that is, of course you can't catch your own air ball. That's a travel. That's like passing it to yourself. Can't do
I
that.
still don't believe it. Yeah,
So the godfather of our league sh- printed out the rule book, and in every league except the NBA, you can catch your own air ball. And in fact, it's a loose ball, so you can shoot it. You can do whatever you want with it again. You don't see it happen very often, and I bet you most people would scream like crazy if they saw it. But uh, that's what Elmer he showed it. The other one, and this is good for pickup basketball and like playground ball, is hand is part of the ball.
Mm.
No, it's not. Your hand is your hand. If you slap my hand while I'm dribbling or whatever, you just fouled me. You smacked me. No, Paul looked, the Saturday morning guru looked it up. And in fact, when your hand isn't, it's part of the ball.
Huh.
I have not verified these on my own, full disclosure. They were brought to me by people I trust, though, and who wouldn't tell me, lead me astray. So
yeah, but there's also
get in the
printed
comments and
rules.
let me know what you think.
That's what I was. There's printed rules, and then there's like the unspoken basketball
Right.
rules. Like you shouldn't airball. You should also,
Yeah.
do you deserve to get that
I
back?
have yet to try to like airball a three intentionally and run and go like catch it and lay it in
And then windmill it.
Yeah.
the windmill.
Yeah, do
Yeah.
it.
I think another rule I like in our group, and it's probably more indicative of our age, but I like the guy hits the floor, we stop playing. I kind of like that. Just
Yeah,
like let's not mess around. It's one of my favorites. It's like,
yeah,
well, because we're
yeah,
all like, did he blow an Achilles? Do we have an ACL? Like, what do we got? All
yeah,
right, we're good. Okay, let's take a
yeah.
pause.
Um, and then everyone spends 10 minutes like kicking the floor, trying to get the sweat up
Yeah,
from it.
yeah,
Um,
I
so
I too
y-
like that rule. Uh, I always think it's funny to look around though and see like the super competitive guy or guys that like, oh man, I don't want up, yeah, yeah. I'm like, yeah, sorry, dude.
yeah.
uh,
The the only drawback to that rule is it also applies to shoelaces, and so I have a couple of shoes where my shoelaces just always come
mm,
untied. So I'm always trying to like sneakily tie it so that they won't stop the game. But if Elmer sees it,
he stops it.
no matter where I am on the court, he'll stop the break.
Oh,
And I'm like, damn it. Like we had an open layup. I blew it. So I just got to learn the double knot. You'd think I would know that
yeah,
by now, but
yeah. Um, speaking of tying the shoes.
Nick's trying to turn this into a shoe
No,
podcast. By
Okay,
the way,
no,
Steve,
no.
we're gonna have to keep him focused here.
my sneaker game is not on point.
Keep me focused.
But the next thing I want to talk about does relate to gear. So thinking about like the characters, say you've never met someone, they walk in the gym. What are like oh my God, this guy can hoop. This guy looks like he can hoop. What are your kind of like red flags? Or maybe, I think sometimes for me, it's like, what's their shooting form? Like, do they look like they know how to shoot? Because then I'm like, all right, I might trust this
Yeah,
guy versus, um, sometimes they got what do they call it? Like the getting off the bus team, the team that gets off the bus, and you're like, that guy's huge and he's built, but he
yeah.
can't dribble or shoot. So what's your kind of character thoughts on pickup hoops?
Well, I got one when it's whenever there's a younger guy that shows up that's like looks like an athlete and is pretty, ripped and everything, and they spend more time stretching than shooting.
Mm,
I get worried.
okay.
Yes,
Elaborate, please.
because
They're like this is like a trained athlete who's like, I gotta limber up because I'm not worried about my touch. I'm gonna beat everyone down court. It seems like it works every time
Oh,
where
so
they
you're saying that they're that supremely athletic, like they're more worried
yeah,
about,
and they're
yeah,
like they're dialed in, and they're also probably coming off of like, this is what we do before we play competitively
got
is
it.
we
Yeah. Okay.
we stretch versus all of us start coming in and shooting threes like fresh off the bus. Yeah, that's one
I,
thing for me. But
I'll be honest, if there's a new guy in the gym, I will definitely watch him take some jump shots or do whatever he's doing. And then right before the game starts, if he's not on my team, I'll tell the guy who's guarding him, I watched him shoot. Don't give him any three. I
yeah,
won't say the opposite. I won't say like, this guy can't shoot for shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Lay off him. That's always a good way to break the ice for the new guy.
Th- there was it was the opposite of getting worried about it. But whenever we played pickup on the playground in New York, inevitably there'd be some dude that'd show up in like, the Kobe jersey with like matching Lakers shorts
Mm,
and looking the part, never could play.
no, that's a red flag.
No,
If you're wearing
yeah,
a
that's a
jersey,
it's red flag.
nah.
Red flag.
I can even draw on my own, the different phases of my life I went through, the stereotypes I was trying to convey, when I showed up to games, depending on, where I was playing. You know, for instance, I like, would downplay that when I was younger, that I was a basketball player and had played for years. I'd wear running shoes and soccer shorts. And, maybe let's say I can think of like back in grad school at the U of M, you go down to I don't even remember the name of the building, where the field house where you go play pickup ball, and the football players would be there.
Hmm.
And, you get to do the, what's Billy Hoyle, uh, you know,
One man can't jump.
there's no way that guy can play. He looks like he just came off the track for like a cool down.
Yeah. I was gonna say wrestlers and football players are those kind of sneaky. I think Nick, you and I were talking about this the other night, about how like they're like strong and like kind of look weird playing, but kind of get the job done. And somehow they shoot and it looks awful and it goes in, and you're like, what the heck is going on
Yeah,
here? But they're just like kind of athletic enough to do those things. Like those guys are always tough to play
yeah.
against because you're not really sure what's happening.
The the guys I hate playing against the most are soccer players.
Ooh,
They're like
flopping.
they're always their defense is always crazy. I
Ah,
feel like they always have crazy good defense. Like, one, they move their feet really well. Um,
And they can
but I
run
think
all
there's a
day.
lot more hand fighting in soccer than I thought.
yeah,
And so they're surprisingly like super handsy a lot of the
and in
time
good
too. They're
shape.
just like, and in good shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got one. I don't know if you guys were there a couple years ago. I was still living in Minneapolis, so it was at least 3.5 years ago. But I brought a neighborhood friend, and he was super aggressive, like pick you up full court. And then I swear to
Oh,
God, took himself out of the game and almost like we were like, is he gonna die of a heart attack or what is happening? Like just played way too hard, like you got to kind of, especially when you're going into a group that knows each other, you got to feel the group out,
Yeah.
and understand what's going on a little bit. But that was the overly aggressive guy. I feel like is kind of common in some of the runs.
Yeah. I appreciate that about our run too. So this is the reason I love being in this pickup run as well. Is if you're making shots or missing shots, people are know your game. They're still going to pass it to you. Maybe once in a while they'll take you aside and they're like, yeah, maybe that's not your shot or something like that. But you go to LA Fitness, you miss your first two shots, like you're
You know,
not seeing the
no,
ball
no
like
chance.
ever
No.
again. And so like it's nice to have a group of dudes know how to actually play and move the ball, and it's pretty good. Um, hey, can I ask you a question,
Of
Steve?
course.
This, this is something Matt and I talk about when we go and have beers after we play. Um, we believe that you can observe a person's true self by watching how they operate and sort of behave on the basketball court.
Oh.
So, like, those dudes who there's the two archetypes I could think of right away. Is like one, the person who's like, no matter where they are on the court, how many people are guarding them, they're open, right? They don't see the rest of the team. Like everything is about them getting their shot. It's maybe like is it like they lack self-awareness, or are they just not like, overly confident in themselves, or do they just not care about, being part of something
Mm,
bigger than themselves type thing. But the other one is the person that complains about everything,
mm-hmm.
right? Like they miss a shot, it's like, oh, this happened, or they're just constantly blaming and making excuses for like why they don't succeed or do something on the court too. It feels like those are examples of are you looking out for others? Are you setting picks? Like it's a very selfless act. Are you moving the ball? Are you passing it? It kind of feel like it gives you a little bit of an insight into people's sort of psyche. But we also do this after games where we're having a few beers. So we have to
Well,
validate this.
well, and as part of that discussion, I think why we talk about it is because I've been frustrated. Some nights I don't have fun playing basketball, and I get crabby and frustrated. And I'm crabby and frustrated with could be anything, other people, myself, whatever. Uh, but I'll say like, I really want to like this person, or they're really cool to talk to. I enjoy them for the most part. We have good banter on the sidelines. Uh, but I can't stand like the way they play. Uh, it drives me
Mm.
nuts, and I don't want one. I don't know if one should affect the other, like, or if I should let the two, like one thing bleed into the other. But then, I feel like you do learn a lot about people by how they'd approach basketball, and it's a glimpse into a little small glimpse into I don't know, your character, I guess.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good observation. I'm gonna look at this in a different lens now on. I think it's interesting because basketball is one of those games where you can excel individually. Like we've seen, like LeBron will carry a team to the finals, right? But pretty much by himself because he is just so much better. Um, but it's also sometimes the what is the saying, like the whole is greater than the sum of the parts type of thing, where like if you get a group that really can know each other and like get on the same page, so there's like it's an interesting game in that sense where both can work. um but I think for pickup, yeah, it's hard. I think when you're like, I remember going to the Y, and if I was with a group I knew, I played so much better because I just know who's going to be where and what this guy likes to do. And, are they a driver? Are they a shooter? Are they going to look for me? Versus like when you play with people, you don't know that it's just everything's tougher. And if one of those people is like, they're not a passer, they're taking bad shots, it just deflates the whole thing, which is true of any game. But like, I think,
Are you sure you're not describing college basketball right now?
no,
Because every year they have a brand new team, and it's all pickup basketball
yeah.
for the.
Yeah, but like
Sorry,
some of them,
didn't mean to get you off topic.
no, you're talking to a guy whose favorite form of basketball is college basketball, so you gotta be careful. But yeah.
I love, yeah.
No,
I'm not going to shit it.
the
I don't want
the
to
teams
be.
who
I like it
can
too.
find that continuity, quickest are the ones that you generally succeed though, right? So, but yeah, that's interesting. Like I think there's probably some people I would agree with that when I think about them. But I agree with you, Matt, on the fact that I hate to do it, but sometimes I will be like, God, I just can't stand playing with this guy. He's super nice and I love talking to him, but oh God, do I just want to avoid being on his team because I can't do it. Um, so yeah, that's
Can
100%
I
real.
can I add a new like stereotype, a new favorite stereotype of mine type player that
Oh yeah.
walks into the gym? I can keep this short. This I've come to appreciate is the guy, how do I sum it up in like 3 words? Plays down to his competition guy.
Hmm.
Plays down to his comp and not in the bad sense like you would think like when you talk about a professional or college player playing down to the level of an inferior opponent supposedly. I'm talking about the guys that we know who were top level athletes and are still in their 20s and 30s, physically, you know, taller, faster, right? Those guys, they're special, at least where we play. But almost all of them are so nice and are so self-aware that they like don't play, too hard. They don't like beat the shit out of you, or for lack of a better term, or dominate just because they can get to the basket every time.
Yeah.
I really like that type of player. It's my new favorite stereotype. We've had a bunch of new ones recently.
Mm.
Once in a while, when I find myself guarding them, I'm like, you can come at me. My ego can handle it.
Well, well,
I would
when
rather
you
get I would rather get your best and what I can handle it for a game than oh, he's gonna take it easy on the old guy. That just is more insulting and I don't like that. Not at all.
you don't like that they play down.
I mean, in a way I appreciate it and like it, but they do it to be like it's for fellowship, right? To make friends. I'm not here to like fucking dunk on a bunch of guys. Excuse me, sorry. Dunk on a bunch of guys that barely know me. I'm here to make some friends and get to know some people, and so there's
I
like that.
kind of want you to call them out by name for the next time you face them.
Oh, I absolutely do. I think
Tell
I
them to
say
go
it.
all out.
Well, I made that mistake with Kevin Heinrichs one night, uh, and he put a shoulder in. He took me down low immediately after I said something, and he took me down low immediately, and I was kind of like, yeah, this okay. This is one place I can play defense. And I thought I could absorb the shoulder to the chest from him, and I collapsed, and he just laid the ball in, and I was like, all right, that might not have been the best idea. Well, at least I know I gave him my best.
We kind of had a similar
Yeah.
situation last Saturday, um, Nick, where, someone said, "Hey, can I bring this
Oh,
guy?" And I made kind of the
Oh
yeah.
offhanded,
yeah, tell me about this because I saw the chat and I was like, who
yeah.
did they bring?
I mean, he was good. I wouldn't say he was like, "Oh my God." Like, I was more making, I'm a self-deprecating, like deep down, I have confidence I can guard people. But I was like, oh man, my ankles, if you bring him, you got to guard him basically. And he's like, okay, I won't bring him. I'm like, no, I'm fine if he comes. I'm making a joke essentially. He was like a UMAC player, like Division 3, like all conference, played in Spain or something. Like he was good. Um, but not in like a whole, I mean, definitely better than anybody else on the court, but
He made a few moves that made me think he was really good.
yeah,
But I'm also 5'9" and he was 6'3", 6'4", or
yeah.
whatever it was. But even just the little things like the way that they use their hands or create space with their forearm,
Hmm.
I felt that
Yeah,
quite
yeah.
quite a bit.
Well, when he
So,
told me he hadn't
um,
played in like 18 months because he had wrist surgery, then I was like,
yeah,
oh, oh God. That's a little bit different problem. But I think, afterwards we were kind of talking about the levels, right? And like guys who play D3, and then there's guys who play D2, and there's
yeah.
guys who play low major D1, and then there's Big Ten, and as you see, it's like it's just mind blowing how good guys can get. But yeah, he was good. It was funny because I'm always like I'm more of the yeah, let's go. Bring on the challenge. Like, I want to guard whoever, even if they're 15, 20 years. And this guy's probably almost 20 years younger than us. But yeah,
Yeah.
he was good. He was definitely good. He made a couple of like spin move into a step back that I was like, dude, you're 6'4" and you're creating 6 feet of space, and this is easy for you. So
Yeah, once he started hitting threes, that's when it became very different.
yeah, yeah. Initially, he was
It
missing
was
missing
it,
some threes because you could tell he was a little rusty, and all of a sudden, I was like, "Oh, okay, this
yeah.
is a problem."
So the interesting thing with playing with dudes like when you're playing with dudes like that instead of against dudes like that too is they really make everybody better. I told Matt this, like, I'm pretty aware of who I am as a basketball player now. I'm 50 years old, still playing. I'm proud to be still playing, but I like to think, I'm sometimes the fourth best player, but probably like the fifth best player on the teams that I'm playing on all the time. But I still feel like an important player on the team. And when you play with a dude like that, right? Like all of a sudden I'm getting more shots than I would normally get because A, he's drawing doubles, but two, he is like all of a sudden you're playing with dudes that like you're in the spot you're supposed to be and they know you're in the spot they're supposed to be and they give you the ball in the spot you're supposed to get it. And it's just all of a sudden they make like a very average player like myself like into someone who's better than they are because of so I just love playing with dudes like that too because I think the athleticism one thing but the IQ that's the thing that's very different
Mm,
when you play with those guys and even the way they talk on defense I love it.
mhm.
It's just
And they
it's
always
great.
want they always want to get the the low man like a bucket. They love like
Oh
feeding
yeah,
feeding the, whatever guy they, cheer for you.
Yeah. The
yeah,
IQ thing, Nick, I think is spot on. Like the IQ part of basketball is like the part I kind of enjoy and I like and like who's tagging the roll man, like does anybody, and so like when I get frustrated, Matt, you talked about this a little bit, like whether you're frustrated with yourself or with others, but like I'm like somebody needs to do, like this. And I'm definitely not the person I'm not there to coach, right? Like we're just there to have fun. And so I don't complain about it. But like when I play with somebody who knows where they're supposed to be, they know how to rotate on defense. They know if I drive here, I should float to the corner. Like that stuff is awesome. And it makes it so much more fun. Whether you make the shot or
yeah,
you get there on defense, whatever, none of that really matters. What matters is like, were you trying to do the things that good IQ
yeah,
players would do? And that makes it super fun.
yeah. Well, the thing I wanted Matt to comment on this too, because the thing you might take for granted, like I didn't play organized ball, and so I think I'm in the right spot sometimes. But I wanted to get your guys' perspective. You guys played organized ball. Like I appreciate. Well, Matt will. I'll ask a question or be like, should I have? Was I not supposed to switch there, or like what happened there? Like sometimes I think it's all right also to maybe talk to those dudes, and some people just don't want to put in the effort, but some people aren't aware of where they're supposed to be.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the I have to remind myself of how privileged I've been to be coached and learn to play the game since they had organized basketball for kindergartners. Uh, and I'll get frustrated with people that aren't in the right spot. And then I'm like, he might just be somebody who likes basketball and wanted to come out and exercise for a
Yeah.
night. Like,
Yeah.
and that's okay too. And so stop being such a crab ass. Uh, because, not everybody has gotten trained, I had some and one mixtapes and, like to watch highlights.
Yeah. Well, and the game has changed so much. Like, I mean, I always talk about this. Like, you guys make fun of, well, I don't know if you guys do. Some people make fun of me for shooting the mid range shot, but I'm like, dude, that's what I grew up doing. That's what most of I shot a lot of threes on my high school team, but that wasn't a lot compared to kids now. And so, like, even I've noticed the way we play is more of like how the game is played generally now, where there's a little bit more 3-point shots and stuff like that. But so like it's different. So like, yeah, we played organized ball. But we played organized ball in a different era. It has completely
Yep.
changed since then and like multiple times over, to be honest. I think about that when I coach my son. I'm like, this is not the same game. Like some of the same things should apply, footwork and spacing and things like that. But
Yeah.
like, um, I think, where you should be like, well, where I was coached to be, like nobody does that anymore. Like it's just not really a thing
Yeah.
as much. So I think it's more just like playing off of each other and like, I always go back to Ted Lasso scene where Jamie and
Oh, now you're
Roy are
talking my language.
arguing about like, I need to give him space. And he's like, you need to be there to help your teammate. He's like, no, what my teammate needs is space. And like, they have that banter because it's kind of two eras and players and different personalities. And so like, does my player need me to
Yeah.
support? Does my player need space? If I trust this guy needs more space because he's a good driver, then I need to flare out. If he's driving to draw defense and wants me to come over for a handoff or something, like it's just all these things of just kind of learning and playing with the same guys. That's one thing I appreciate about you guys.
I I love playing with this same guy. I get all my buckets off of floating to open space. That's like pretty much how I get open because it looks like I'm standing still and someone turns their head for a second.
Mm,
It's like whoop, just like move to a different spot or like Matt gives I feel like at least once a night I get an open look off of a double team where Matt is like about to do a drop step and someone comes over to him and he just kicks it to me. And it's like
It's the
love
best
that
shot in
play.
it's the best shot in
It,
basketball.
yep.
but you got to be in the line of sight, right? Like I gotta be in a spot where it's easy for him to get it, or he can see you, or I just love that. My favorite play now, my favorite, and this is me being old. I love the extra swing pass.
Hmm.
I just love it. I love the pass up a good shot to get the best shot type thing on the wing, and that's something that I don't always see in youth basketball. Is like I'm passing it from the corner to the top of the key, not to give to the shot to the guy at the top of the key because I expect them to like continue the ball path.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always happen. Like that's something I miss. But man, that's so satisfying when it's like boom, 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 and then like open shot. It's my
Yeah.
favorite.
My favorite
Love it.
is the guy yelling one more, one more, one
One more.
more.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I remember there's a guy we play with, Joe Couillard, who's a coach.
Yeah.
And I remember I was having a really bad night. I was playing with, and we were playing with like they're younger guys, like way more athletic. I was the smallest easily. I probably missed every shot I took. And I remember the biggest compliment he gave me is just I just made an extra pass, and I just hear, great extra," and I thought like that's like one thank you,
Yeah.
but that's like just
You can
basketball
always tell
IQ.
who the coaches are in the group.
Yeah,
They're cheering for
yeah,
the little
yeah.
stuff like
Good
that.
extra.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's another great guy to play with because he knows the same thing, right? The IQ part of it is huge, and he's not doesn't need a bunch of shots, even though he probably could take a ton. So
yeah.
love guys like
Hey,
that.
I think I enjoy Joe the most when and this is going to sound bad, but I enjoy when he's playing poorly because I get such a kick out of him yelling at himself. Dang it, Joe! Dang it, Joe!
oh, that's Joe
Different
Sullivan.
Joe.
That's a
Oh,
different Joe.
Sullivan. Oh
Shouts,
yeah, you're
shouts
talking
to
about
young Joe and
Coolio.
old Joe. Shouts to
Yeah,
Young Joe,
both
old Joe.
both Joes.
both Joe's quicker and better than me, but I like to
Yeah.
call one of them old
So
and young.
I would like to bring up Joe Sullivan for a second though, because I had this similar experience. So one of the greatest joys of my life that happened like 3 years ago was we needed an extra player. My son, he was I think 15, 16 at the time, um, came and played with us. So I like got to share the court and play like in a really competitive game with him. And he was, I mean, he's a much better player already than I am. He's 17. He's like, but it was so much fun. And Joe does that. Like Joe's kid sometimes now comes without Joe
Yeah.
and plays with us, and he's just like one of the gang.
Yeah.
It's super cool to see like the basketball generations come together. That's one of the things I love about pickup too. Is it's like everywhere I lived in New York, Atlanta, Minneapolis, like community.
Hmm.
It is basketball is community,
Yeah.
and it's awesome to see like the generations kind of like pass it down to each other and the love of the game. It's super fun.
Yeah. Um, yeah, that's one thing at the Y too. Like I was gonna maybe have Lita Walker on. She kind of I wouldn't say runs, but she's like the Elmer of the downtown Y run. And I mean, kudos to her because she plays against all these guys all the time, and
I know her husband
oh
Jason.
yeah.
Is that Jason Wall?
I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
I
She's
think
an
so.
attorney downtown, and so she's been
Yep.
playing there forever, ever since I have. But just her perspective, because she does a lot of like, hey, let's organize a YMCA 3-on-3 tournament downtown and like stuff like that, and it just creates this. You get to know people, like you guys were saying, like you create this group, and it's just. I would say our group that we play with is like super close, and it's fun to have people out and go have beers and like just create these friendships. So
Yeah.
that's really what it's
Well, what,
about.
well, when you talk about things like foul calls, earlier and arguments or things like that, it's a lot harder to argue and yell at somebody or want to fight them if you're going to see them 2 days later and they might be at the happy hour, and you've been playing with them for 7 years or whatever. It's like, all right, I'm not going to, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's one of the great things about our game.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, and I've kind of hand selected. I don't know if it's hand selected, but like it's kind of a group that, okay, we'll invite this guy. If he's cool, then he's on the list, right? It's not like a open invitation, which creates a little bit more control over the types of people. But there's been a few flare ups, but nothing major.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I think I had one where I argued with a guy. I thought he had kind of disrespected a foul call I made, and this was a guy that I knew well and played with, and I was probably in a bad mood for whatever other reason when he showed up, but I took exception to his like calling my foul soft or something,
mm,
and I, we were raising our voices and arguing, and uh, eventually a couple guys came over, like good citizen, like, hey guys, step apart, like let's not do this, and what was great was is the other guy and I looked at each other. We're like, no, we're fine. Like we know each other. We're not going to fight or this isn't going to get out of hand. But we want to argue. Like I know him. He knows me. It's okay. We'll argue. We'll shake hands before we leave. It'll be fine.
mm. Yeah, I saw a few downtown that did not end in so amicably. That's for sure. There would be games that got
Yeah.
stopped from it and stuff. So,
Well, it's easy. It's easy when you don't know people well to like continue to argue like that too. So that's the other thing is when you're playing consistently with the same guys, you know where they're coming from. Like I've had times where like the week just carries over into the game, and
yeah,
then like if your shot's not falling and you like the weight of the world's on your shoulders, and like you're mad about you're not really mad about basketball, right? You're mad about like whatever else is going on, and so I think that's what I like about like a community of basketball is people respect that. Like they can tell when you're off, like as a person or whatever the case is, and they're there for you. It's pretty awesome when you can find that. I feel really grateful to have found that here in Minneapolis for sure.
yeah.
It's been like really awesome. I also I have a hot take
Hmm.
that I feel like
Oh, do we have a, hold on,
Minnesota
do you have like a sounder or something? We gotta, hot chick.
like I want the Funkmaster Flex bombs. Like
Nick's flaming hot takes.
yeah. Yeah. I think Minnesota is more of a basketball state at heart
There
than
we
it is a
go.
hockey state.
See, we got an outsider even admitting. I've been saying this for years, Nick. It's just our pro team and our college team have sucked forever. This is a
Hmm.
basketball state. This is a basketball community.
Yeah. It's amazing.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed. I can't say more. I can't say more. I think that you could make the case that they are on the same level. The Minnesota basketball. What else is there to do in winter?
Right. That's
Go in the gym and watch
Yeah.
hoops.
yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. It's
where I grew up, uh, it was a little tiny town, and the gym would be packed on Friday nights for home games.
Hmm.
Everybody came. It was
Yep.
the local entertainment. You know,
Yep.
we were an hour away from the movie theater,
It's
so they didn't really have a choice.
northern Minnesota and some metro schools. Hockey is huge, and it's a knit. Let's be honest. In the major sports, it's at the bottom. We're one of the biggest states for sure.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think even John Krasinski's talked about this before of like when the ratings come out, if the Wolves are in the playoffs and the Wild are in the playoffs, the Wolves draw more. And it's just a fact that there's more
Yeah.
basketball fans in the state. Yeah, our pro team and our college teams have sucked. Imagine if the Gophers were regularly in the tournament, making Final Four runs every 10 years. It would be a different dynamic.
Yeah.
If the Wolves had won an NBA championship, it'd be a different dynamic. So,
There's also so when we moved here, we were told everyone here is really friendly, but you got to make friends before the winter because everyone is happy to be your friend, but no one invites you inside or whatever the cliche
yeah,
is. I found the same thing with basketball. Like people are so protective of their run.
Mm.
You'd be like, "Oh, you play basketball," because that's as soon as I got here, I was trying to like worm my way into like whatever game I could find, and it was hard. It was hard to find. I found a couple, unlike the one we have now, where it's like, it's like a more open community, but um, people love their basketball runs, and most of the people I know who even have like like half a love for basketball have like a run that they are a part of with like the same dudes for the last like 20
Mm-hmm.
years. But breaking into that is like really hard.
Mm. Interesting.
That's what I found. I don't know.
Well, we're glad you're part of ours.
No, thank you. Yeah.
We're over an hour, guys. I know we could go forever. We could probably we'll just stop recording and we'll keep talking. But any final Nick, any more hot takes on pickup hoops? Anything we missed that you guys think we should cover?
I just want to encourage everyone who plays basketball to invest in a good pair of sneakers.
Ah, yes. That's directed at me. I know it is. It's fine.
It used to
When's the
take you
last
could
time
take
you bought up a new pair of shoes,
Well,
Steve?
just recently because I bought a cheaper option and they lasted 6 months and they're trash. And I'm like, all right, I gotta go back to the gym or go back to get some nicer ones, spend a little money, make it
You
worth it.
you play enough
I know.
where you should be investing in your
Yeah.
health.
at least 2 shoes you
Use
should
your
Yeah.
have.
HSA to write it
Yeah.
off or something, or get it reimbursed.
I'm not a shoe guy.
Well, it's a size 10. I might bring you some next
Yeah.
time. Next run.
Uh,
I'll bring you some.
what's the go-to shoe right now, Nick? I'm not a shoe guy, so what do you got?
Well, this is going to get into a shoe debate now, but I started playing. I feel like Nike is falling off a
Mm,
little bit. They're not putting all the tech in every shoe. The price points are super high. I still like them a lot, but I've been buying. I've been dabbling and trying some of the Chinese shoe company shoes, and those are my favorites right now.
oh, interesting. Okay.
So yeah, there's a company called 361 that makes the Joker shoe, like Nikola Jokic's shoe. So I bought one of their models. It's not the Joker model, but a different model. I bought it off eBay for like $60, and it is one of the best shoes I've played in the last like while. I also think I'm reliving my youth of I'd have one pair and run it into the ground for 4 years, and um, I think it makes a difference. It helps, like your feet, your knees, all that stuff.
Mm,
As you get older, that's my final parting piece of advice: is it is worth
Stretch.
investing in a good pair of shoes
yeah.
if you play enough.
Newman?
Well, if I was going to wrap this up, given this opportunity, I'm sure some of the guys that we play with will listen and be interested in what we have to say, or maybe not, or maybe they won't make it this far. But I want to thank all of them. I moved here in 2018. Uh, this is I've played basketball in every place possible. I will play it. If I blow out my Achilles, I'll play in a wheelchair probably. I don't know that I'll find another sport I ever love. Uh, and this gym and these guys have just been great. Like it's just one of the best things in my life to play with a bunch of you know good guys.
Yeah. It's
So if I described you, that said, if I described you tonight as a stereotype of a player, and you go, "Hey, is he talking about me?" I probably was. Sorry, but I love you anyway. I think it's all in fun. I'm sure. I'd love to hear someone you describe my stereotype.
yeah.
Well, who were you when you were on your pick when you were playing in your driveway?
Oh,
Who were you in your mind? Like who was the
oh,
player you were trying to?
there was only one. I was a fan of basketball before the Timberwolves existed, so I got the one chance I got to actually pick the team I wanted to like, and it was Michael Jordan and the Bulls.
Oh,
And I followed them from the getting beat by the Pistons
I see
days
the
to
resemblance in your game.
you should have seen. I'm sure there's a VHS out there in that 7 foot hoop of me trying to like rock the cradle, kind of
Yeah,
cuff it and kind of rock the cradle a little.
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah,
My
Michael Jordan every time.
Yeah.
Mine was Mark Jackson, New York Knicks. Mark Jackson.
Mm,
See, that's good because that's a game that you can actually model,
Yeah,
yourself after, and even into, uh, older age.
yeah,
When you model yourself, you try to play like Michael Jordan, and it doesn't last
yeah.
long.
Jats was pretty ground bound, so it's achievable.
Yeah.
How about you, Steve?
I mean, when I was in the driveway doing shots, it was MJ probably. I remember Grant Hill also was like a favorite player of
Oh,
mine in the 90s. I was a Duke fan, still am, and
yeah.
loved watching his game and
Still the best alley-oop I've ever seen.
Kansas national title game with Bobby Hurley. Yeah, that was a great
Yeah.
dunk. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like MJ, I mean, the Wolves I was 6 when they started. So like I kind of, got into him, but it was all Jordan. I mean, it was Last Dance, my son has watched that. It's pretty cool. So it's just, yeah, like
Nice.
as athletic as he was, there was still, and Kobe's the same way. It's still like mid post, fade away, footwork, shot fake, up and
Oh,
unders.
yeah.
Like they just had a bag, and they had everything. And it was, and then you add in that they worked harder than everyone and they were more athletic than most people.
Yep.
Like that's what made them so unbelievable. So yeah.
I actually
Cool.
thought of a succinct parting gift or parting thought. Bring your own white and black t-shirts. Bring them.
Yeah.
Go to the thrift store and get a reversible. Stop borrowing mine.
I got lucky enough to wear your Heinz 57 jersey that one time, and I feel like I can never go back. That thing was nice.
Nice.
It's got a little extra weight to it. It makes you feel all like, well, like you're just being held together warm and snug. Kind of absorbs some of the contact.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. Well, this was super fun,
Yeah,
guys.
that was a present from the man sitting right next to me here.
Oh,
Yeah.
that jersey came from Nick.
It came from the actual like Heinz
Oh, because
corporate
you used to
office.
work for Heinz. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That was our March Madness thing. Yeah. I like to gift. That's my new thing. My wife said I'm not allowed to buy any more shoes. Well, she didn't say I'm not allowed, but I'm not really supposed to buy any more shoes.
Mm.
So now I buy them for other people. So maybe, Steve, you'll get lucky enough soon. I'll bring you a pair.
Yeah, I mean, I just got some new Nikes, which you just trashed, so I guess I'll have to try some.
No, Nike's good. They're they're just they're being caught up too.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, there's the shoe guys. There's definitely shoe guys. You, Rashad, and another
Yep.
buddy of mine, Derek, is a big shoe guy. So it's never been my thing, but
Yeah.
you can appreciate when you get a good pair. That's for sure.
You're Billy Hoyle. I get
I
it.
Yeah.
actually went back and tried to download a picture of every shoe that I ever owned from starting to play. I was amazed at how far I got, and then I started finding screenshots of the old East Bay catalogs,
Ooh.
and I just went through like, yep, because I ordered. That's where I got all my shoes from. I'm like, oh, there, I remember that one. I had that one too. I found like 20 different shoes. It was great.
Oh my God. That's another. I had these Sean Kemps that now I look back and I'm like, those things are hideous. You remember they were
I
black and
remember those
white
ones.
or and
And the
green?
big like,
Yeah, they have.
and they had like the kind of swirl or the white kind of swirled around.
Yeah, they were crazy. And then I had the Grand Hill Filas. I remember that. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, dude,
I like that.
Oh,
funny.
good talk.
Yeah,
So good.
yeah. Well, yeah, this is gonna be the longest one. This is great. Again, I knew this would be fun because obviously you guys are awesome, and I respect your game. Echo your opinions, Matt, on the group and just how important it is. Like my wife even knows how important those runs are. So, glad we could talk about it, and I appreciate you guys coming on today.
I could
Thanks,
talk
Steve.
for hours, Steve. Thanks for letting
Yeah.
us do it.
Absolutely.
And kudos to you for taking your passion and turning it into something with this podcast that you started also. Now you have a home for all your sports knowledge that
Random
Nick,
thoughts.
we're gonna start taking like a notepad and take some notes of our best takes from after, you know, after basketball beers to share for
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Come prepared.
Perfect.
Well, yeah, actually, Matt, I think you were the one that brought up like you should do an episode on pickup basketball. So I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
That is true. Like a lot of guys play and there's different things and we all know the characters and we all know the things. And it's just a fun, kind of a fun segment to do here. The Wolves not playing anymore. So appreciate you guys coming on. that's the show for today. I appreciate Nick and Matt coming on. Enjoyed the conversation talking about pickup basketball. Hope if you are still playing, play as long as you can. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. Compete. Um, I had a doctor tell me that it's one way to stay young, and you got to keep going as long as you can. So, I like others I know. That's their form of exercise, right? It's running may not be your thing. Biking, strength training and stuff is good too, of course, as my wife always reminds me. But ultimately, what I'm passionate about and where I get the most joy exercising is definitely through a run, through the game of basketball. Um, Again, like I said earlier, check out Hitting the Hardwood. I will be contributing articles there throughout the next few months covering Gopher basketball. I think next article will probably focus a little bit more on the tactical schematic things that Niko Medved does and how that might translate with his new personnel this year. But in the meantime, make sure you give us a follow. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen. And I appreciate you all for being here. With that, this has been the Splash City Basketball Podcast.